Both Clitney from Tackle World Mackay. Today we're going to give a lesson on how to cast a cast net. Now this is the way I've been taught since I was a young fella. There's many different ways to cast them, and but this is the way I do it. Firstly, is number one is attach the rope to your hand, just so you can retrieve that net after you've cast it. Secondly is to coil the rope in a circular motion, just to make it neat and to retrieve it. Some ropes can get quite tangly, but that's how it is. Thirdly is I hold the top of that net in your hand so you can control that top of that net. Now fourthly, I pick up the net at around the waist height, and then I drop the rest of the net so you don't have a big bunched up roller net in your hands. Then I pick that piece up there so you're not stressing your wrists out. Next step is just to grab the nearest bit of twine, drop it over your elbow, but it must come over the back of your wrist like so. Then when you turn your hand back to straight, it actually tightens that so it can't slide off your elbow. And I'll show you why that's important later on in the segment. Next step is to gather under your net and gather along. I collect about half of the net, open your finger and thumb and pick up the other half, and it steps up under that finger and thumb. All that does, it just keeps your net in full control when you go to cast it. And then the next step is just like tipping out a bucket of water. We've got a little bit of a headwind here, but it should still spread, no worries at all. So here we go. The trick I was showing you before was how to get that net over the elbow and turning that back to straight and keeping that hard on your arm. The reason I do this, a lot of people say, you know, that you don't want to put over your arm because they don't want to get wet. The best way, if you don't want to get wet, get someone to throw the cast net for you. Now if you lock that down, what this actually does is once you pick your net up, and sometimes bait can be really hard to get. You might throw the first hour and half an hour and get plenty of bait. Sometimes you can cast all day and get no bait. The reason I cast this way and that stays on your elbows because I can control my net. If it goes 10-15 minutes without getting bait, my arms aren't in the air, I'm locked down nice and tight, and I've got full control. So if you're tired and you're sitting on your hands and knees, or even if you're looking for bait and you're trying to surprise them or sneak up surprise them, you should still be able to throw that net basically off the ground without a problem at all. So that's my techniques in cast netting.